Now and again, I do these sessions with a friend. We usually schedule them because I'm quite unscheduled with talking to people and that sort of thing because I'm often online. I have Skype on it in a tab or open in a window somewhere as I'm working on other things. Whilst he is very structured and very organized, which is really how I'm not like that at all in regards to how I speak to people and that sort of thing. But we organise these sorts of sessions sometimes where it's kind of well, we just talk, and I have problems and they have to be addressed. Personal issues, inconsistencies, and that sort of thing, and we talk through maybe one of them, explore its origination, maybe what the subconscious is trying to achieve through doing something habitually, that sort of thing. One of the interesting things which I never really thought about before is how often they come across, obviously. And in fact, one of these problems, which is the need to constantly add caveats to what I'm saying and reinforce it with extra statements after the statement itself, and so on. This has been observed by other people to the point where it was actually mentioned by someone. And it's interesting because in my mind, this is how, and I've explained it before publicly on many occasions that I kind of use language in a strange sort of way sometimes because I'm trying to think about something, so I just throw as much language as I can at it, and eventually a kind of picture is formed. Instead of being clean and concise and straight to the point at the time, well, no, rather, I do use clean and concise language, and I am direct, but I'm direct over and over again. Not whereby I repeat words or repeat myself, but I approach a topic from different vantages. In fact, I just did it to a degree. I just did it. Sorry. So, but we spoke through this sort of issue, and it comes from. I mean, we kind of established it comes from when I was kind of treated very badly when I was younger, and the fact that I'm what I'm trying to do is establish trust and communication, so that I'm trying to avert misunderstandings or complications or conflict before it actually arises. It's I'm trying to diffuse a situation before it even emerges, and we kind of traced it back to what I experienced when I was, I suppose, between the age of 8 and 12. Um, and the lack of communication there, or at least from my end, the perceived lack of communication there, and the fact that I'm subconsciously trying to avoid any future situations like that. Which it's interesting because on the one hand, you look at these sorts of oddities or curiosities regarding oneself, and you think, okay, it's a flaw, it's a problem, it has to be fixed. But it isn't as simple as that. This isn't like a problem. In fact, it's a good thing because all it leads me to want to do is to establish communication with other people so that I understand them and they understand me. It's I'm trying to find a safe space, so to speak, and that's all it is. And I do it with words and language, and like I said, caveats when I speak and describe things and make propositions. And there have been instances where recently I've tried to stop doing it, and I've sounded arrogant because of it. I think I think that's part of it, that charge. I mean, fuck, I'm still fucking thinking about it, so it's not like I've just stepped over it and I'm ignoring it. But no, I think that's part of it. Because where I do try and stop adding caveats to everything and establishing that we're all on the same page and everyone understands me and no one's gonna fucking hurt me. Um, once I've stopped doing that, you get the opposite, and you get a lack of clarity, which can be dangerous. And well, it is dangerous. Of course, it's dangerous because you don't want to be misrepresented. You don't want people to misconstrue your intent, which is often a problem with me because I do speak often when I'm sure about something and I'm in conversation with someone and when I'm kind of when the ball is rolling, you know what I mean. I do speak very confidently and very. It's strange. I've noticed I do this far more than most other people I know when I speak. I actually use the full capacity of my lungs to make noise. Whereas other people, they kind of hold back a little bit. They kind of, I'm trying to do it now, but I don't want to become so quiet that I can't be heard. But when I speak, it's actually full-bodied. Even in ordinary conversation. And it's often clear, and I deliberately, it's always conscious, most of what's happening. I'm aware of everything, trying not to and ah and that sort of thing. Trying to get straight to the point and unravel what's going on in my mind, because my mind is so active. I have to make sense of it all. And additionally, there's my gut instinct to add caveats to everything and to establish that everything's okay between me and whoever I'm speaking to. All this just adds up into a very chaotic ball, which has to be unwound now and again. And so I have those kind of an hour or so with my friend where we just talk it out. And I'm not going to go into further detail about that in particular because this isn't the place for it. This channel, of course, is for this sort of thing, which I won't be putting on my main channel. But I can't just throw everything on the internet, and this is something which I've had to learn. Oh dear. Anyway, there's the caveat thing. I'm not sure what else there is to say about the matter. It comes through, of course, when I speak. When I write, it does come through, but when I write, I can reposition things, reword things, as to minimize the number of individual sentences, for example, or to be brief with words, which obviously when you're speaking you can't do because everything's on the fly, spontaneous, and you can't revisit anything you've just said. And again, I just added another caveat. And by me saying I just added another caveat, I've added another caveat to establish self-awareness so that the listener knows what I'm doing. It's fucking weird when you actually start to unravel what actually you're doing subconsciously. And you start to tap into it and be aware of it. It's a funny sort of thing to be aware of. Because most of the time you're speaking and so on, and it's just clear, it's just straight. But then you get into the kind of hidden motivations for certain things, or motivations for certain things, which you might be aware of at some level, but never fully, never with open eyes. And it's healthy. You have to be aware of these things and of these problems. Well, not problems, but the fact is, it was a problem which caused this to happen. It was. Look at that stammer. I don't even want to talk about it. But those bad experiences which brought this about, which began this, which set in obviously motion a series of events in my mind, which have led to the development of this habit. And there are others. Fucking hell, there are others, but there you go.